Hey, Commanders Nation. What's up? Hold on to your hats because we're diving into a slightly sensitive topic that reveals a lot about the mentality of our new coach, Dan Quinn, and the current state of our team. You know those off-season training activities, the famous OTAs? Well, some key players haven't shown up, causing a bit of a buzz. But how Dan Quinn handled it and what he said got me thinking, and I need to share my perspective with you. Stick with me until the end because we'll understand what's happening behind the scenes and what it means for our Commanders. Don't forget to like. It's just one click, and it helps me a lot. Things are looking really good for the Washington Commanders right now. We started Phase 3 of the offseason program this week, and the overall atmosphere is one of optimism and hard work. For Coach Dan Quinn, this second chance as the leader of an NFL franchise has gotten off to an excellent start. In just 1 year, he's managed to create a positive environment with a roster that seems to be in sync, focused, and ready to pursue great results next season. The energy in Ashburn is palpable, and that makes me very happy as a fan. Unfortunately, not everything was perfect at the start of this final phase of preparation for the battle we'll face throughout the regular season. When the team took the field for the first voluntary practices, some important names and faces weren't present in the lineup. This absence, while expected in some cases, always generates a certain apprehension, right? We want to see everyone together, working and building chemistry from day one. Coach Dan Quinn was asked about the players who didn't participate in OTAs, and his response was well considered, showing his experience and how he handles situations. He said that there's no one-size-fits-all solution when it comes to players' decisions to participate in these voluntary workouts. This shows that he understands that each situation is different and that there are several factors involved in a professional athlete's decision. Quinn explained that he's been in constant contact with all the players on the roster, taking full advantage of this period to strengthen bonds. He highlighted that he now has stronger relationships with the athletes than he did a year ago, when practically everyone was new to his management. He mentioned that this mix of veterans and second-year players who have already been with him helps move things forward. And he concluded with something I think is fundamental in sports. It's one of the things I like about coaching. Like, if you can get to know the guy before the player, that helps move things forward and go a little further. This philosophy of knowing the person behind the uniform, of building a genuine relationship with the athletes, is something I really like about Dan Quinn. It shows that he cares about the well-being of the players and understands that they are more than just pieces on a chessboard. This approach can be crucial to keeping the group united and motivated throughout a long and grueling season. It's a sign of leadership that goes beyond game tactics. Among the players who didn't show up for the opening of OTAs on Wednesday, the most notable absence was undoubtedly that of our captain and star receiver, Terry McLaurin. But he wasn't the only well-known name absent. Also missing were cornerback Marshawn Lattimore, a recent arrival, and left tackle Laramie Tunsil, another important acquisition for our offensive line. Defensive end Dorrance Armstrong was present, which is good, but didn't practice on the first day, which is also noteworthy. Despite these absences of key players, Coach Dan Quinn didn't seem overly concerned about the situation, and his calmness is a reflection of what other players on the team also feel and understand. An example of this is our new teammate and receiver, Deebo Samuel, who has been through similar situations in his career and has a mature perspective on the professional side of the sport. Deebo Samuel commented on Terry McLaurin's absence and showed total understanding. He said, "I understand the business side of things, and when he stopped coming, I understood his side of the story, so I just don't bother with it and let him handle the situation on his own." Deebo's statement is important because it shows that even as teammates, they respect individual decisions and understand that there are aspects of professional sports that go beyond the training field. Deebo continued talking about his relationship with Terry when he's present. But when he was here, man, it was business is business, feeding off each other's energy and trying to improve each other. This reinforces the idea that, despite the absences from voluntary workouts, the focus and professional mentality remain. They know that when they're together, the goal is to work hard, help each other, and raise each other's level for the good of the team. Coach Dan Quinn also mentioned that although he keeps in touch with the players, he doesn't directly handle contract negotiations. That part is handled by General Manager Adam Peters. Quinn said he receives updates from Peters, who, incidentally, spoke at the beginning of this offseason with considerable confidence about the possibility of finalizing a new deal with Terry McLaurin. This gives us a glimmer of hope that the conversations are progressing behind the scenes. Meanwhile, Terry McLaurin's representatives in the Commander's front office will likely continue working silently behind the scenes to try to close a new contract as quickly as possible. This would be ideal for all sides. Terry could return to work with the situation resolved, and the Commanders could move forward with their star receiver fully integrated into the team and focused on the season. We really hope this gets resolved soon. As for the other absent players, such as Marshawn Lattimore and Laramie Tunsil, the general expectation is that they won't appear in voluntary workouts now in May. We don't expect to see them in Ashburn before mandatory minicamp, which marks the end of Phase 3 of the offseason and usually takes place in June. However, it would be a very pleasant surprise and a positive sign if they decided to arrive a little earlier to participate in the growth and development happening on the team in these next few weeks. The presence of key players like Lattimore and Tunsil, even for a few days before minicamp, would be valuable for them to integrate into the new defensive and offensive schemes, respectively, and to begin building chemistry with their new teammates. Every repetition in practice counts, especially for players who are just arriving. But, as Quinn said, every situation is different, and the important thing is that they're ready when the season begins for real. So, Commanders Nation, the message is that despite the notable absences in the first days of OTAs, Coach Dan Quinn seems to have a comprehensive approach focused on relationships with players. He understands the business side and respects individual decisions, but also values presence and teamwork. Terry McLaurin's situation, linked to a possible new contract, is the one that draws the most attention, and we hope it resolves soon. Get ready, because we're going to talk about the guy who changed our team, our quarterback, Jayden Daniels. After a rookie season that exceeded all our expectations and made us dream big, the question that won't go away is, what's next for him in year 2? And who better to answer that than our offensive coordinator, Cliff Kingsbury, the guy who works directly with him every day. We got an update straight from OTAs that got me super excited, and I need to share it with you. Stick with me until the end, because we're going to delve into what Kingsbury expects from our number 5. We know that the new Washington Commanders management, with Coach Dan Quinn and General Manager Adam Peters, has a clear objective: to maximize our window of opportunity to compete for the Super Bowl, and the path to this goes directly through the development and success of our quarterback. Last season, after all that restructuring in the organization and coaching staff, Commanders emerged as a promising team, and much of that is due to the incredible performance of Jayden Daniels. Now, Jayden Daniels is entering his second year as the starting quarterback in Washington, and expectations are high. The team worked hard in the offseason to build a roster around him that allows his talent to truly shine even brighter. The arrival of players like Deebo Samuel, for example, is a clear sign that the franchise is investing heavily to give Jayden the tools he needs to succeed and take our offense to the next level. With everything aligning for the Commanders to fight hard for the NFC East and, who knows, reach the Super Bowl, offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury talked about what he expects from our starting quarterback after the first day of the team's OTA activities. And his statement made me even more confident in Jayden's future in our offense. He showed that the coaching staff has a clear plan for his development. Kingsbury got straight to the point when asked about Jayden Daniels. He said, "I would expect him to take another big jump." This phrase, for me, is fundamental. It's not just expecting him to maintain his level, it's expecting evolution, a leap in quality. And he explained what this big jump means in the second year. I think throughout my career with the guys I've worked with in year 2, the biggest thing is ownership of the offense and mastery of it, and where they feel very comfortable in checkdowns. This makes perfect sense. In the second year, the quarterback needs to have more control, understand the offense thoroughly, know how to change the play at the line of scrimmage for the best option against the defense in front of him. It's in this mental and tactical mastery that Jayden needs to evolve. And Kingsbury, with all his experience, knows exactly how to guide him in this process. There's no doubt about the positive impact that Cliff Kingsbury has had and can continue to have on the quarterbacks he works with. He has an impressive track record, having worked with talents like Johnny Manziel in college, Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech, Kyler Murray with the Arizona Cardinals, and even Caleb Williams at USC recently. This list of names speaks for itself and shows that Kingsbury has a keen eye for quarterbacks and knows how to develop their potential. Needless to say, with this resume, Kingsbury knows exactly what he's doing when it comes to quarterbacks. Jayden Daniels and Kingsbury seem to connect very well from the start, and this synergy was crucial to Jayden's success in his first year, culminating in the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year award. Now, in his second season, Jayden's big challenge is to avoid the dreaded sophomore slump and continue his development, which, according to Kingsbury, involves a number of factors beyond physical talent. Proof of how much Cliff Kingsbury believes in the Commanders project, and especially in Jayden Daniels' potential, is the fact that he decided to keep his position as offensive coordinator in Washington. He had the opportunity to take the head coaching job in other teams, but chose to stay here. This decision likely had a lot to do with what he expects the Commanders to achieve, and, of course, with the chance to continue working closely with Jayden, who, despite all his immediate success, still has much to learn and evolve in his game. The combination of these two, Jayden Daniels on the field and Cliff Kingsbury leading the offense, helped the Commanders become one of the most exciting teams in the league last season. And the hope, both from the franchise and from us fans, is that their continued growth and partnership will yield an even better return on investment in the 2025 season, bringing us ever closer to our ultimate goal. To conclude, with offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury expressing his confidence and expectation of a big jump from Jayden Daniels in his second year, and with the team building an offense focused on maximizing his talent, the big question that remains in the air and that only time and hard work will answer is, Will Jaden Daniels be able to make this leap in tactical and mental mastery to not only avoid the sophomore slump, but to solidify himself as an elite quarterback and lead the Commanders to Super Bowl glory? The anticipation to see this happen is enormous.